V-Gates Crazy German fans. How's it going, guys? Wanted to make a quick video here before Christmas hit. It is the 21st of December and been really busy, finished up my season. Weather here, I live in Ohio in the US, and the weather has been pretty dicey. We got about a week in November we had to shut down because of the snow. I'm in the lawn and tree chemical treatment business, so snow doesn't go too well with those conditions. So we kind of just worked our way through it. We got done with most of the work, but gonna go out tomorrow, do a few stops, and then I'm going to be shut down for the season for the Christmas. We'll get past the first of the year and I'll start tearing into equipment. I have a dedicated workshop that's heated with my tools and workbench and everything. So I'll start tearing into equipment. I rebuild things and paint things and refurbish things so that next year, next season, 2015 season, I have less breakdowns and things in the field. But you know, things getting done on the trucks, I steam clean the seats and all those kinds of things as the trucks get waxed. So yeah, so it keeps me busy over the winter time, and obviously I plug forward with my projects. Still working on the Empire Army. It's a great little army. Already making my plans for the models I'm getting outside of the starter box. So basically got the Reichsguard. I got probably 3 colors on those. Started on the Gunman, finishing up getting the mold lines off of my my Spearman, getting that done today. They'll be base coated by the end of the day, and then I'll be looking at you know, getting them started sometime next week over Christmas holidays. So I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. The Crazy German family, we're gonna have a great one. Wanted to let you guys know that something that we did this year. I've been a DirecTV customer for I think 16 or 17 years. At our other home, and then when we moved to this property, you know, we continued the service. Been a great service, but I find that over the last year or two, with my Xbox and an Xbox subscriber, online subscriber, I found that more and more and more I was really watching mostly YouTube videos, searching YouTube for videos, and any of you guys that are YouTube fanatics like me know that there's tons of content on YouTube, lots of interesting content, guys making videos, or you've got folks putting one of my favorite shows that someone puts up there is called Time Team. It's a UK show about archaeology, history shows. A little bit ago, on my system down in my office, I was watching a good show about Baron von Richthofen, the Red Baron. You know, just all kinds of stuff on there. And then Netflix. I watch a lot of Netflix series. So I got to looking about it, and I'd been hearing about this Amazon Fire. I'm an Amazon Prime customer. Last couple years I've had a Prime account, so I can get the shipping, and you know, you do sometimes get discounts, but I do want to support Amazon. They're a great company. I buy some of my models on Amazon. I have some of my supplies I buy on Amazon. So I got to hearing about this fire, Amazon Fire. So when we got that snow in November, I sat down and did some research on it, and I made the decision that I was going to basically convert all my flat screens in the house. Well, the main television in the family room and the television up in my master bedroom, for starters, just to see how it worked, and then add on to the kids' rooms. But got the Fire TV in. I basically got rid of the Xbox. I just got tired of the whole Xbox thing. I got tired of using a little controller to maneuver. Xbox Fire is, oh, what can I tell you? It's friggin' amazing. If you, the way I like to watch TV, I don't watch a lot of sports. I'm not a sports person, even though I had that's one time I had the first 6 or 7 seasons to the Columbus Blue Jackets. I had season tickets. You know, taking my kids to hockey games since they were little. I went to college for a short time in Minnesota, Minneapolis, and I kind of got hooked on hockey a little bit. But I kind of fell out of the whole sports thing of being raised here in Columbus, Ohio, with the Buckeyes thing. I really just kind of got burned out on sports and the whole Buckeyes, you know, Columbus, the Ohio State Buckeyes whole thing. So, and being a gamer and basically a geek, I gravitate towards educational program, a lot of PBS, you know, a lot of history shows, and that's where the YouTube came in, because I was finding a lot of great content on YouTube for those type of topics, and also with Netflix, a lot of historical films, a lot of historical mini-series. Downton Abbey is one. If you haven't checked it out, that's another great period thing. They're getting ready to come out with their 5th season. But basically the way Fire TV works, if you guys don't know how it works, if you're an Amazon Prime customer, it's $100 a year, and then it's $100 for the the Fire box. This is the box and the controller. It's super easy to hook up. I have one is wired with Ethernet, and the one up in the master is just using Wi-Fi. And honestly, the Wi-Fi is working pretty good. I'm probably going to get a booster for the Wi-Fi on the first floor to just boost the signal, make it a little stronger. But the content is amazing. Amazon Prime with your Netflix account, which is what, $8.99 a month. I've had that for several years. You know, DirecTV was costing me $110 a month easily, and we found that more and more we were really not watching programming on DirecTV, and the news. Honestly, let's face it, who wants to watch the friggin' news? All it is bad news, and it just makes you upset. But Amazon Fire has some news outlets, Bloomberg, CBS, you know, Fox will be on there eventually, and you can go on there and it's got streaming news reports where you can click on the stories you're interested in watching. If you do want to watch news, it has weather apps. So basically, you think of it as a traditional streaming. If you're familiar with Roku and Apple TV, it's a streaming service, which means you don't need TiVo anymore. You don't need any type of recording device. Everything that's on there, the apps and everything, the DirecTV or the Prime TV and all those, you basically watch it when you want to watch it at your convenience, and that is, you know, that's the future of programming. It's going to end up being, you know, it's all going to go to streaming, okay? Because our schedules are so varied. It's hard to sit down and watch set programs at set times. And you can literally just go on there and click and watch it at your convenience, pause it, come back the next day, watch the rest of the program if you need to. So if you haven't looked at it, you know, and Roku's highly rated, I'm sure Apple TV, they're all going to work along the same lines. But if you're an Amazon customer, as I am, and I can only speak from my experience, I would highly recommend looking into it. It's gonna save you a lot of money. It's a lot of great programming. I also looked into, I got us all 4 of us for Christmas, was the Amazon Fire tablets. I don't have mine down here in the office right now, but I got the 7-inch Fire HD, excuse me, and awesome. I'm down here in my workstation. I don't have it down here today. I've got a movie playing down here, but I can watch all my Prime, all my Netflix, YouTube, all that on my Fire. I got a case with it that has a little stand. You stand it up. It's amazing. I can start watching a program on the TV upstairs and put it on my Fire and my pad and watch it down here. I've got my Warhammer Fantasy rules in there. I've got a new Warhammer Fantasy book novel that I've got loaded on there that I'm reading. And that's kind of where I'm segueing here. That's why I started talking about this Fire. The other thing with Fire TV and Fire tablets is you have full internet access, like I said, YouTube access. And as the technology moves forward and more programming becomes available, you'll eventually be able to get your rules. As we move forward, this is what I envision. All the gaming companies will end up coming out with rule sets you can get on your television, so you can scroll through the rules. If you're watching a program and you want to, pause it, just think how amazing this is, because I've already got my music on there, my any video, personal video I can put on Amazon Fire on the cloud. Okay, so the content's always protected. So you're going to have everything at your fingertips when you want to watch it, and just think how amazing that is going to be. And that's really where I'm getting at, is how these gaming companies are starting to move towards the iBooks and the eBooks, and eventually these rule books, instead of having a big thick rule book carrying it around, you'll just have it on your tablet. And the 7-inch seems to be a perfect size. It's not too big, it's not too small. I can actually, depending on what kind of code I have or where I'm at, I can easily carry the tablet with me. It's got a protective case. So I'm looking forward to the day I can have all my rules and my Army books all on my tablet. I envision eventually the tablets will have a little strip on the top, which will be a solar charger. So if you can't plug in, all you have to do is set your tablet even in ambient room light, or somewhere where there's sunlight, and you can literally charge your tablet up with sunlight. That's where I see this all going. But something I want to touch on that goes into us gamers is Mantic Games. Now, I watched an interview on Beasts of War with Ronnie from Mantic Games, and I'll tell you, this guy, he's ahead of everybody right now. He's going to have it so that when you buy their rule book, you'll not only get the rule book for a reasonable cost, he's also going to include the ebook version, or the PDF files for the book, with one price. Then he's going to have Army Builder available for your tablet, so that you can change up your army lists and everything right from your tablet or your smartphone if you wanted to use a smartphone. This is the same, the tablets are running on the same processors and the same technology as a smartphone. They're just making the screen larger so it's easier on your eyes. And really that's what prompted me to get the tablets. I see my wife trying to read her news feeds and things on her smartphone. She's got an iPhone 5. And I thought, that's got to be terrible for your eyes. I know I try to read mine. I usually just put it aside off my iPhone, and I'm like, this is stupid. I can hardly even read this stuff. So, anyways, but tying into Games Workshop, I find it interesting. Those punks, and if you're from Games Workshop or you know someone that works at Games Workshop, I hope you're listening to this. Number one, I'm a new fantasy player. You have none of the Army books available as ebooks. None. Just the core rules. The core rules are fine. I've got those. You charge 30, what was it? It was 23 bucks or 35 bucks, I forget what it was. For the core rules, it had none of the it wasn't the rule book. It was only the core rules. And I didn't realize that until I got paid for it and got it in my tablet. And I started scrolling through it and looking in the table of contents. They didn't have any of the pictures, none of the galleries, none of the stuff about the armies. And I thought, you know what? What a total friggin' ripoff. I should have everything that the rule book has in my tablet, so I can scroll through it at my convenience wherever I'm at. It seemed really chintzy. So why don't you guys at Games Workshop be like Mantic? If I pay 80 bucks for your rulebook, which is already expensive, include the ebook or iBook download with that book, so I can get it on my tablet in one price. Why do I have to pay for the rule book and the ebook when you got a competitor who's coming in? And I encourage anyone else that knows folks from Battlefront. Well, I don't play Warhammer and Hordes, or Warhammer. I don't play Hordes or War Machine, but Privateer Press is going to end up doing this stuff, and all these gaming companies, Fantasy Flight, all of them are going to start doing this ebook, iBook thing. And it would be a great concept that with the purchase of your hard, because, you know, a lot of people, me included, probably for the next 20 years or so, we're going to like the fact that we got that nice hard book, part of our library, and we can flip through it, and we get the ebook with that price. You know, it'd be a great encouragement for guys to go to tablets, especially at tournaments, or even like in a home setting like I have here with my own workshop, my own gaming area. It's so nice to just set that tablet up, put it on the rules. You got the table of contents. It's freaking amazing. And imagine having access to your army lists on there, and being able to change up your armies on a fly, having all your spells, all that stuff at your fingertips. How amazing that is going to be. So I'm sure you guys agree, any of you guys with the iPads and the iTablets, Samsungs, you know, they're all coming out with them. But I really like the Amazon Fire tablet. It's great. You can shop. Here's the thing that Amazon has that no one else is going to be able to do, except, you know, the iStore a little bit. With Amazon, you literally have at your fingertips on your tablet access to millions of products, music, videos. A lot of the Amazon Prime video content is included with your Prime. There are some movies that, you know, they haven't reached an agreement with yet to have them streaming yet for part of the Prime cost, but give it time and they'll all start doing package deals where you'll be able to get, you know, tens of thousands of movies with a subscription fee like Netflix. So it's pretty interesting. If you guys are using tablets, you know, post your comments below, and even voice some of your frustrations with some of the gaming companies like Games Workshop that are really dragging their feet. Now 40K, they got 40K covered. They got a lot of the Army books are available as iBooks. Well, now that's a good point. I just thought of that. Most of their stuff's only available for iBook. Hello, Games Workshop. Less than 50% of the market is going to be iBooks. Personally, I have an iPhone. It's okay. I don't have any major complaints about it, but I'd rather be Android based because it goes with my computer, my HP system, my network I have in my office. I have 3 systems networked, and it doesn't work with Apple technology. And 90% of businesses or most homes are running off of Microsoft technology, Microsoft software. So especially if you're running a business. So that all needs to integrate. So that's where this is all headed. Everything's going to be integrated. You'll have your media at your fingertips with your pad at home on your flat screen. And the amazing thing is that Amazon Fire box is like this big. It's like so small. You don't even have, it doesn't even need to be by your TV or anything. I have it actually just behind my entertainment center, and up in my master bedroom it's behind the dresser. I don't even see it. So all I have is that nice clean television with my DVD player, which eventually that's going to disappear because I'll have everything will be in the cloud and streaming. I won't need DVDs anymore. They'll be obsolete, you know. It'll just be a dead technology. So yeah, voice your comments down below, because as this video gets watched and circulated, you never know, guys. It just stumble into the right hands, and these guys might, you know, hello, wake up. You know, you got teams of people somewhere in England, in Nottingham, you need to get a team of guys together and all that stuff. You know all that stuff before it goes to publishers. It's in digital format. All they have to do is make it available to you. And if you're buying the book, give us the freaking PDF for the ebook. I mean, come on. How greedy can you get? It's not even costing you anything more other than posting it on your website. I order the book and I get the file for the PDF. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. Some other topics I got here. I covered the Empire Army ebooks, the pads, the Fire TV. So I guess we're going to close this segment. I do want to apologize if anyone, because this is going to be kind of a negative part of the video. And any of you guys that have been following me the last, I don't know, 10, 20 videos know that, and this is painful. This is so painful. I stumbled onto a guy, it's called Movie Mayhem, because I'm a huge movie guy. I love movies, good movies, and as any of you movie buffs out there know, it's kind of hard to find a good movie out there to watch sometimes. So I'm always looking for new movies that are really good. Before I go to the cinema, I want to make sure it's, you know, a 4 or 5 star rated movie, so I'm not wasting my money. And it so happened I stumbled onto this Movie Mayhem, the guy that does movie reviews, and he also is a big war gamer, and he's starting also the Gaming Mayhem part of his YouTube channel he's a big 40K player, fantasy player. I think that's it. I think those are the 2 big game systems he plays. I don't know the guy's name. He seems like a really nice guy. He's obviously intelligent. He obviously does something constructive and makes good money, so he has a nice setup in his home, it looks like, for his movies. He's got freaking shelves of movies. I'm like, oh, drooling. You know, even though, you know, DVD's still going to die, but for the next 20 years you'll still be able to get access to DVDs and still get DVD players, I would imagine. It's still nice to stick that DVD in the slot and watch it. So I still will have DVDs for a certain time, and I'm sure so will he. I mean, he spent a fortune on DVDs. He's got tons and tons. Anyways, I digress. It turns out he has enough income where he put together a beautiful Forge World and out-of-print model dwarf army for fantasy. And any of you know that deal with Forge World models know how expensive they are. And he had assembled this army himself and sent it to Blue Table Painting. And if you guys, like, I got kind of sidetracked myself, followed my videos, know that I've been a big supporter of Blue Table Painting. I've subscribed at least the last 5 years. I've watched the videos. I followed Sean since he was in the Badger Hole. You know, we're talking about Sean Gately. Now, this is a disclaimer. I have not ever used Blue Table Painting service. I paint my own models, but eventually these are going to go. Okay, I'm not going to be able to paint forever. I already have to make sure I have lots of lighting. I have different types of glass. I have a different set of glasses that I use for my miniature building and painting. But eventually I'm going to get to the point where I'll have to commission someone to paint my stuff, which is fine. You know, we're all going to get older. I'm 49. I'm not going to live forever, and my eyesight's eventually going to go. But I can still roll dice and move stuff. You know, play chess, play my war games. So I accept that. So it was someone that I look to someday use as a painting service. Anyways, if you haven't seen this gentleman's YouTube channel, I advise you to go check it out. If you're looking for a commission painting service, I'd really direct you to this guy's YouTube channel, because it really floored me when I watched his video and I saw what happened, and I got to looking into this and looking around the internet for anybody that had similar bad experiences with Blue Table painting, but this guy was totally ignored, mistreated, blown off. And I'm a guy coming from the service business, okay? I know, and I can tell you right now, if Sean or someone from Blue Table Painting stumbles onto this video, I'm a service guy. I started with a paper route when I was 11 years old, okay? I've always been in the service industry to some degree, always, okay? I started my own business in '95, which is a service business. And I know that you can't keep everyone happy. That isn't the issue here. If I have a customer who is being completely unreasonable, leaving nasty messages, being nasty to my wife who runs our office when I'm out in the field, that person is not going to be a customer for very long. If you want to call me and say I'm not happy with something, we will work with you till the nth friggin' degree to make you happy. Okay, I deal with plants, okay, and the weather. So I can't control everything. And most people understand that. And most people are pretty reasonable. But in 23 years of being in the lawn care business, I've had some stinkers in my day. Okay, now this guy does not strike me from Gaming Mayhem. He is not what I would categorize as a problem customer. This guy tried multiple times with his army to address issues. They wouldn't get back with him. They wouldn't address his concerns. They would send him take 4 and 5 days to send him pictures. If I have a customer who calls me and says I'm unhappy with something, usually by the next day I'm there. I'm on their doorstep. What's the problem? Let's check it out. Let's see what I can do to fix the problem if possible. Okay, but I'm like a plant doctor. There's some things I have control over and there's certain things I don't have control over. But when you're running a miniature painting service, you have total control over everything, pretty much. It's all inside. You don't have to worry about the weather. You're inside. It's a matter of just managing your resources and getting the job done. If someone says, look, you know what, I don't like, I would do a couple sample models and send them pictures if it were me and say, what do you think about this scheme? Or he gave them an idea of the scheme. From what I'm gathering online, this guy spent $6 grand on the painting of this army. And any of you know that a 9,000 point Forge World was like the majority of the stuff he had, and you can see his video, his Forge World models. And let's face it, this guy's got 10 grand in this army. Easy. Okay? Maybe less. I'm not positive. But we're talking some serious scratch here. Okay? This isn't like, chump change. So, and the other thing too, if you got a Forge World model that's that big coming in your shop, that's a friggin' showcase army. The guy paid for level 4, 5, and 6. That's high dollar, high skill paint work that should be done on these models. Obviously, they're frickin' Forge World models. They're meant to be an army you cherish the rest of your life and you pass down to your descendants. I mean, come on. That's what I'm looking at here. When I die someday, I'm going to make sure someone gets these armies that's going to have fun with them and carry it on. This hobby's not going to die. People are still going to want to play Warhammer war games. So my point is, the guy got hosed. He got to the point he got so frustrated because they wouldn't get back with him in a timely manner. They wouldn't send him pictures. They told him, okay, we fixed all the problems, and he said, just give me my army back. God, you've had it for over 8 weeks, when he was initially told it would take at top 6 weeks. Probably the guy may have wanted to go to a tournament. I don't know, but you got that kind of money floating out there. You got to put 65% down on the paint job and then 35% upon completion. And he got to the point where he was so frustrated, he said, look, as long as you got the list, the go list, or the fix list of things that I have addressed, that details that weren't picked out, I'm thinking that there was too much primer showing. And look, I use black primer myself. Okay, there is a place for black primer in the deep dark recesses. In certain cases, you want to leave that like under their arms, or if they've got a shield and under their arms, you kind of can't get a paintbrush up under there, but you can get primer under there, and that's in cases like that I will want to use a black primer. If there are models where there's a lot of recesses that I just can't get a brush to, I'm going to go with a black primer. Everyone understands that. Most gamers, war painters, guys that paint their own models to a high level, understand all the concepts. But if you look at this guy's video, 90% of the army was just primered and dry brushed. I mean, I was stunned at how sloppy the paintwork was on this army and how inconsistent. Some of the miniatures were a decent standard and the others were just quick. You could tell were just hurried and just dry brushed. And everyone, and we all know, dry brushing is a valid technique. One of your techniques. I use dry brush on almost every project at least once, but that's not the only technique I use. There's all kinds of other little tricks, and I'm not the greatest painter. I'm probably, on a blue table painting scale, I'm probably painting at a 3, you know, realistically. Some of the stuff I have is probably a 4 or 5, you know. I'm proud of it. I think it looks good. It's definitely high tabletop standard. But my skills are improving, and I'll eventually get to the point where my skills will go plateau and eventually start to go down because then my eyes will start to give out, and I just can't see to paint as well. But anyways, you'll have to see the video. But I have to say, if you're looking for commissioned painters, you really need to take your time and then interview people and get online and look at their work. Send them this is how I would do it. Now, let's flash forward 10 years, I've got an army to paint. I'd probably send a unit, okay? And I'd say, can you get this done in a couple weeks? It's just one unit. Send it to them. Have them give them how you want it done. Give them an idea. I could probably even do like a basic miniature as a color scheme, or find a picture to send to the commission painter to give them a direction that I want to go with my color scheme. And then get that back and, you know, have them do pictures. Now a good commission painter, and he's done some follow-up videos, they're doing daily pictures. You know, they're communicating with them. Blue Table, it wasn't like that. So I'm hugely disappointed. I think Sean spends all of his time, and a lot of business owners fall into this trap as they start to grow. They spend less and less time watching it, and they're trusting the employees to do the work and to do the shipping and to do the checking, and he's spending more and more of his time playing golf, going on trips, you know, goofing off, going out to lunch, going out to long dinners, and while the cat's away, the mice will play. This is a classic case of that. And then when he gets caught and it's found out that his staff isn't doing their job, he makes excuses, and the guy wanted a refund. You know, he wanted a refund. I don't know if I'd give him a 100% refund if I was in Blue Table Painting's shoes. He did get the base coat done. He did get a lot of dry brushing done. They do need to be they need to be detailed and touched up and properly based and finished. I would have probably offered him like a 75% refund or something. Anyways, I guess basically the BT Blue Table Painting stance was, mail us back the models, we'll fix it the way you want it, and it'll be a done deal. And he's like, you're not getting my models again. You know, you had them for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I was so upset by the time the process was over with. I don't want to ever fool with you again. I just want to get my money back, and I want to move on. And here's the other thing that applies to my business and the service business. When I was first trained in my business, I worked for 2 big national companies to learn my trade before I went off on my own, which you should do if you're in any kind of trade, really, or profession. You want to go learn your business before you go into it. The gentleman that trained me with my first position said something to me. He said, when you're on someone's property, always put in the back of your mind that someone is in that house and they're watching you. Okay? That way you will always make sure you do everything you're supposed to do, and you won't cut any corners, because they will call and complain because they've seen how the job is done from other, in my place, technicians. And if you come out and you cut a corner and you're not doing it the way that we're supposed to, they'll call and complain. And we tend, in our industry, we tend to work with a lot of high-end clientele, and a lot of the housewives are home, and they will watch your butt. This is the same thing for what applies to Blue Table Painting. I would tell them, always assume that the person you're doing this work for is going to put it on a video and is going to review the work that we do to the entire world on YouTube. Okay? What is the first response Blue Table Painting had to this gentleman? Pull your video down, okay, and take it down, and then tell them that we're fixing the problem. He didn't want anyone knowing that they did this bad of a job. Okay, that's a huge red flag. Okay, huge red flag. The first thing you do is, what can I do to make you happy? He said, I want my money back. And you got to ask yourself, this guy's already put up one negative video. Do you just suck it up, squelch out the $6,000, give him the guys his money back, or come back and say, I'll tell you what, I'll give you 80%, since we did do the priming and we did do the base colors and 90% dry brushing. Some of them were just horrid. My son could paint better than that. He doesn't even like to paint. You know, I can teach him how to frickin' put a dry brush on your hand and frickin' dry brush something. I mean, a monkey can do that. Okay, and then throw it in a box and say it's completed. I think in this case, considering you've already had one negative video up, you just say, look, I'll give you your money back. I understand you're so upset you don't want to deal with this anymore, but would you please, once I give you your money back, would you please just do me a favor and say that we did refund your money and I did apologize. And then as Blue Table, I would have put a video up in response, and I would have said, we dropped the ball, we screwed up. I wasn't here enough over the summer or whenever this occurred, last summer, last spring, whenever it was, and be a man and say you screwed up and it won't happen again. And that would have taken you light years with potential customers. You would have said, we would have liked to have taken the models back in, we would have liked to have redone them properly. This gentleman was so frustrated and so upset at that point, he just wanted his money back, so we did that. We've given him his money back, a heartfelt apology. If there's anything I can do to make up for the ill feelings, you know, maybe we could send you a box of something, you know, starter box of some game you're interested in, just as a goodwill gesture. Drop Zone Commander starter kit or something with a note that said, we are so sorry that this ever happened. I think the fact that you're trying to hide it, you're trying to get him to squelch his review, tells people that you're underhanded and that you're not willing to step up to the plate. I mean, he admitted in his emails, Sean from Blue Table admitted in his emails that the paint was not up to snuff. And then he tried to defend, oh, we're using the black. Now look at Blue Table's website though. It says that what their technique is, that they use black base coat and they use a lot of highlights, oversprays, and dry brushing techniques. Okay? There's another red flag for you. The other issue, and this probably goes with all painting services, the paint by numbers, I call it. Blue Table claims they have a 1 to 10 scale. went on their website, you can only choose a 2 through 7. So why would you say you have a 1 through 10 scale, and on your commission painting site you can only select you have a 2 through 7 scale? You don't have a 1 through 10 scale. You have a 2 through 7 scale. How about this? Have 3 scales: tabletop, above tabletop, and showcase quality. And then if someone wants a display model, you can discuss that rate separately. Say, call us to discuss showcase or competition level. But how many people are going to call up a painting service, order or give them a model, and tell I want a competition level? Take that model and go put it in a competition. Who's going to do that? Very few people. It's underhanded. You shouldn't be entering a model in a competition you didn't paint. You paid a commission service to paint for you. And if anyone's doing that out there, then shame on you. That's not what that's about. Competition is about you painting something amazingly and putting it in a competition, not paying someone to do it for you. That's like paying someone to do your college paper and then you get the A for it. I mean, that's just total cheese. Anyway, it's on to me, and we'll get going here. I was just very disappointed. I basically have unsubscribed their YouTube channel. I have unsubscribed their Facebook page. Honestly, for the last year or so, it was starting to get really cheesy, and you start seeing people drop like flies. Some of my favorite people that have been in that studio have basically left. And people will leave, and if you ask where did this person go, there's rarely a response. Okay, red flag, red flag. You can't be having that many people leaving your company on such bad terms and there not be something underlying that's going wrong there. Okay, so that's basically it. I was going to show you some of the progress of the Empire Army I'm painting out here, but I've taken so long talking about this stuff, I'm just going to get going here. It'll take less time to download. I'd say the next video, I'll try to do something over Christmas break. I'll show you more of the progress video of where I'm at. But I want to say cheers, Merry Christmas to everybody. Please don't think that I'm just out to bash Blue Table painting, but I did want to alert anyone that's watching this to their service and encourage you to look at other services and to do your due diligence, like I've said before on other videos. Be a good consumer, do your homework, and when we stumble onto people who aren't doing what they're supposed to do, let other people know. This day and age is really important. I just feel bad for this guy. I mean, we're not talking about a $500 army here and a little cheesy, tabletop paint standard here. I mean, we're talking about a beautiful army that basically got pooched. I mean, it looks like he found somebody good who's doing it pro bono to get some plugs and is touching it up and salvaging it. But everyone that paints and you guys that paint know that once you start getting too many layers on there, the model's ruined. I mean, it could be ruined. And if the primer is applied too heavily, it could be ruined, and your model is going to be thrown in the trash. So have a good one, guys. I'll put up another video over the Christmas break, and please post your comments and opinions below. Keep them civil, and we'll catch you next time. Auf Wiedersehen.